Then you position yourself in this very nice spot, and now you have to take the initiative. I wanted a little bit too much there.
So why, like, how am I, when I'm playing the game, how am I supposed to understand when I need to get the information? Like, in this scenario, like, why is it that way? Like, why is that? I'm trying to think of a way for me to be able to understand it, so that I can recreate it in game when I'm playing. I just don't fully understand when I'm supposed to, like, just hide on site compared to try and get the advanced info.
Nade is an interesting utility of choice.
I normally play mid on Anubis, and then I find that most people rush mid, so then I nade them in mid. But the guys I'm duo queued with yellow, and then the two other guys are duo queued, so they wanted to play mid instead. So
okay, that's fine. You're pushing with your teammates, so far so good. Okay, now it's good to tell this guy to pick on your contact. So he's fully hidden and he's playing on you completely. Because this guy has no choice but to in this situations you have to take a little bit of an initiative. Because you positioned yourself pretty good. I know, like, you position yourself in a way that makes sense. You're not overpicking, you're playing safe. This guy, a big misplay by him, but it's fine. It's still very. This guy, of course, tries to refrag him instantly. Then you position yourself in this very nice spot, and now you have to take the initiative to say, because right now you're in a very good spot. Right now you're in a very nice spot, and the best thing is to tell this guy to take the initiative, to tell him to hide and pick on your contact. That's what you have to do. You have to do this because now if you are just hidden there, you are not picking. You can even go closer to this. Like you can even die. It doesn't really matter. Your goal is to just make sure this guy is for sure out enough. Like if you're standing here, he has no other choice than either be here or be here, the enemy, right? So he needs to be far away from the main. Sorry, let me close my window. So he has no choice but to be out, right? And then your teammate has all the time in the world to swing him because he's probably looking your way if you're shooting to him, etc. If not, then the reverse, right? If he pushes this guy, you can just shoot him in the back, so it's all good. And this is very important. And
I was trying to play it off of him. So my thought process was, okay, I'm gonna swing. When he gets contact, I'll swing. But you're saying it should have been the other way around? He should have swung off my contact?
I mean, it's kind of whatever, but ideally he should of yours, because what he can do is he can pick here and one step back, and he can isolate the gunfight with you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see it.
Yeah, but he cannot do it in reverse because he needs to be so much out. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Right, nice find. Skill. I wanted a little bit too much there. Because right now you're alone on B. Yeah, there was a call to hold water, right? Then they have all the water control and still have mid control, so you're kind of chilling. Really, the only way that you can lose this round is if they enter B. So right now your goal is to actually stay alive, to be honest. Like, you don't even care if this guy enters B. So ideally I would tell you to maybe jiggle here or even jiggle in con or whatever, and if he starts entering you can always take a more passive position. You have advantage, you have MP9, right?
So why, like, how am I, when I'm playing the game, how am I supposed to understand when I need to get the information? Like, in this scenario, like, why is it that way? Like, why is that? I'm trying to think of a way for me to be able to understand it, so that I can recreate it in game when I'm playing. I just don't fully understand when I'm supposed to, like, just hide on site compared to try and get the advanced info.
Okay, so the rule of a thumb is that you have to go for something a little bit more aggressive when you're lacking in information, right? When you're lacking in information, you should go for a little bit something more aggressive. If you have abundance of information on the map or throughout the whole map, the information is not important because it's not really about getting the kills or not
Right.
getting the kills or dying, whatever. Everything in CS is about information. Because there's in the how I can the easiest explain it on like maybe default, for example. Maybe you heard sometimes that you shouldn't push both sides at the same time, for example,
Yeah.
on cities, right? And this is exactly why, because all the stuff that's happening on the map, you can think of it as a kind of a rope that the length of it is finite. The rope cannot split throughout the infinitely, right? So usually you have like, let's say you have passive here, passive here, passive here. All right, everything is perfect. Somebody can play a little bit more aggressively towards A, but then that requires these guys to move a little bit closer to A as well.
Yeah.
B is
Okay.
not affected, right? But if we are pushing very far towards one side, that for example, like in this round, you had people coming in through mid to push water. So our mid control and our A guys are very, very deep. So what it means is that we need to also play way farther on B, right? It doesn't really need to be exactly in one direction. There's multiple ways to do that, but on like textbook CS, let's say, your reaction should be something very deep, like jiggling there even is considered fine, or jiggling there in city, because all you really need to do is get information. Of course, the reason why you're jiggling and not holding is because you're just alone, right? On like
Yeah.
a vacuum. Does that make sense? Or you need different
Yes. Yes, it
explanation?
does. No, no, that's really good. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, not much for you to do. Remember the in the rounds that you're playing shit. Okay, so another like a rule of a thumb thing. If you're playing with disadvantage in terms of like weapons and equipment in general, you have to go for something aggressive. Like your last round, because you had MP9s and stuff, you decided to push it. It's kind of a little bit unfortunate that you actually lost that round. I don't know how did that happen. There must have been some pretty big mistakes on your team's part, but it's fine, happens. So unfortunately, something similar we have to do in this round as well. Like it doesn't have to meet in essentially, but it needs to be something. And this kind of small plays you can do on your own as well. Like if you ever watch Dong play or any really top player, of course they have insane mechanics, yes, but their decision making is always, they always try to grab impact kills, like early kills for that reason a little bit. Especially map like Anubis.
Okay.
Anubis is very decided map, and if cities are not playing proactively, it's very hard to hold the sides, because with executes you can really cover everything with executes on everything. Like mid is easy to take with good util, B is easy to take, A is easy to take, and if you're not trying to play proactively even on gun rounds, it's very difficult. I mean on full buy rounds. So like something like walking out through the smoke, for example, might be a play. Walking through that smoke to the left might be a play. Of course, they are posing risks. I agree. You might die for free, but if you're just gonna be sitting there, you're also just gonna lose. Just a slower death, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess we were like the thought process was, yeah, we have bad guns, so let's like hide in
Yeah,
con and try and get the close quarter duel in con.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not advantageous, right? That's not taking initiative.
It's fine to do that, but if you are doing that, you need to gamble it as well, you know. So make it even stronger, because right now you're weak to B. So let's have even 4 players here. Let's position one there, for example, or one there and 2 in con, and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
Because if they're entering B, now you have real chances of winning the round. But if you are kind of gambling, like it's too weak. It's not gonna hold. You know, like this guy gambled there, you guys gambled there. They're playing like you're playing like it's a normal gun round a little bit. No, it's you can do that in a gun round as well, like 2-con. It's a little bit trolling, but it's fine in face it. Does that make sense, or I'm not sure?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you just have to stack the side really, and you can have one guy on info like jiggling there, for example, with a smoke. So if he's noticed something, he can instantly smoke this, so you have time to rotate or push something. Like on that information, you can as well just push A, push B. Sorry. Because going back to our rule, I actually wanna, because I think the explain should work for you, so I wanna develop it a little bit further. So imagine this guy is jiggling here, right? And you're playing like 3B. Like it's understandable kind of setup, right? One 3B, one there. And if he's jiggling here, right? And he gets that information to A main, it's actually very, very good decision to push B main of that information. Because the rope rule is still working, because now he needs to fall and back even more. And that gives you the ability to push out even more. And you're also doing it with information, because right now, you know, there's only 3 players max. And it's understandably probably not everybody is just waiting here. You know, if there were 2 players A taking aggressively A main, that makes you a little bit more, it makes more sense to push B main. Because not only you can catch a lurk, or someone doing something stupid, but also you just give a lot of information. Because if you push it and there's nothing, it's either mid or A, right? And there's nothing yet here, so you can leave 1B jiggling, for example, and have heavy mid and A hold, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and this kind of plays, it's really nice if you're playing duo with your teammate, because you can actually coordinate something like that, right? With randoms, it's a bit more difficult. It's not impossible, but it's gonna be very hard. Yeah, now it's impossible. Alright. Well, you over-rotated. I wanna hear the comms actually. What caused that rotation?
Smoke say.
Do you have flash purple?
Nothing. You kinda decided on your own, and you cannot do that. There was not really information, and you have to trust your teammates as well. Alright, they have 2 A hold. If they lose this, it's on them, bro. Like, they have mid rotation and 2 on A. If they lose this, it's not your fault, you know. You cannot try to fill the gap that's across the map, because you create the gap yourself, you know. So you have to trust your teammates a little bit, even if you don't trust them. You have to trust them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you make that B hold a little bit weaker with that rotation here.
So my thought process, which I guess like you said, is flawed. So like I'm mid players rotating to A, so I was rotating to mid to pick up mid. Since he was rotating into A, was the thought process.
Okay, so in camera he's still in mid, alright? Even if he's jiggling there, he's still mid.
Okay.
Because that's how this map works. Because this is not this split here is not that annoying to deal with. Because if they try to push mid to temple, you can just push con or push main, and it's completely fine. This split is dangerous though, so the mid player usually plays a little bit closer to con, and like jiggling this, for example, is completely understandable. Like you don't really need mid on Anubis can be left open for almost every round if you wish. Of course, not on Face It probably, but in like team play, it's sometimes one mid player almost every round, and he's just throwing some util and then going camera, and he's just sitting there jiggling. Sometimes even here on top of the box, just sitting here. If he notices something, he just mollies this or smokes, and that's it. And at least you have information, right? Because in this setup, when we expect a pop. It means like it. It seems like it to me. all we need for mid is just the information whether we are getting splitted on A or not, and we don't really care, you know. Plus, remember they cannot plant on mid. Okay, so mid, generally speaking, like losing mid is a big deal in a sense that gives them their more options to do stuff, but it's not the end of the world, right? So it's better to leave mid open than leave weak side. Because
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
on side they win the round. On mid, it's just like, let them have it. Okay, I said I like this rotation and I stand by it. It makes sense, but honestly, at this point, I think you might try to get a little bit more greedy. In my opinion, it wouldn't be a terrible play if you try to get a little bit more greedy, because
Okay.
you just molly it con. They tanked it or you missed the molly, lol? I missed the molly. Alright. I mean, if the molly was good, then there wouldn't be able to go out, probably. I mean, until you had that information that they are not out. I'm just saying you would make sense to get a little bit more greedy, like maybe try to grab another kill before rotating or something. But it's not bad that you rotate as well. But also, I know I am not really into micromanaging teammates, alright? I don't really wanna tell people to micromanage teammates. I rather have people focus on themselves. But the higher you go in elo, the kind of this small pushes of what actually you wanna do is a good idea. So like for example, I would tell this guy 100% to come with you city instead of him going temple. Because from temple, entering from temple is actually kinda ass, not gonna lie. And like they can just smoke it and there's nothing you can do. As for city, there's actually some stuff you can do. It's just better, you have more space for together, you know, like on temple you block each other, etc. So it makes just more sense to go together for city. So there's some trade opportunities as well. So I would tell this guy, come city, because you know, now you know that it, I mean, you did that, so I suppose you already knew that makes more sense. So you take this, tell this guy, purple, come with me, you know, or yeah, he was actually purple.
Yeah.
Purple, come with me, Sydney, and that's it. Then you don't talk about nothing else, you know. And if he doesn't come with you, doesn't luck. But at least you tried, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Honestly, I'm not a B player, but okay, I like it. Great idea. Oh, this guy is overstaying in main though. Was it your teammate that picked main, or it was random?
It was. No, it was my teammate. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was trying to. So our thought process is, okay, they're gonna split B here because he pushed out. I saw them in E box. So we want to maintain control of B main for retake. Was the thought process.
Yeah, I understand that. It's not terrible, but well, it's not technically you're not wrong. Like it could have worked, but if you wanna go for a play like this, like hiding somewhere there, you have to do it dry. This is the only way to get this guy in here and make sure he's not gonna get checked. This is the only way to get him dry there, and to get him dry there is a little bit risky.
Okay.
So anytime you're going for a flash like this, in general, like city aggression of any kind is always grab one kill and go back. And this is the proper way, because if the city devs are way more we are basically, city lives are worth more than T lives. So anytime you trade 1-for-1, you're actually losing on city side, because anytime city dies, you know the default, right? 2-1. Anytime a city died, dies, it means somewhere is weak. So if this guy dies, now B is weak. If this one guy dies here, now is like split A to mid to A is weak because they have only 2 players now, right? Or this is weak if it goes camera, etc. So you have to be careful with it. He should have come back. He got a little bit greedy. But I understandable decision. It's not. It could have worked as well. You know, it could have worked. And now you either fall back completely or you push something. Second push, and you almost got a kill. Unfortunately, you didn't. Okay, yes, 20 seconds. We can attempt this. I'm not gonna check. Are you gonna check? Oh, you heard him. Oh, okay. We take those.
Yeah.
Ah, you were not ready. But he should have win. She should win, right? Oh no, he was gonna lose.
He got very mad at me for this round. Because I died at camp. Our player number 2, who's on air, he got he got actually really angry with me. Because I died in the 1v2. But I didn't realize I was trying to push forward so that I could trade and play with him. I didn't realize he was running away. So like after I looked at the radar and I saw that like the guy was pushing him, I was now focusing on like, can he try and trade my teammate? I didn't realize he ran away, and he yelled at me a lot for like not just hiding in the 1v2.
I mean,
I don't.
Okay, so okay. Sorry, let me interrupt you a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that you were not hiding is not really because it's a 2v1. Like it doesn't really matter. What matters though is what's the time is left. Okay, because here when you're rotating, you're looking at the minimap to see what the fuck is happening. And you would see that this guy killed the bomb, and he's still alive. He's doing great for himself. And here, you check the minimap. Okay, he's still backside, and you have 14 seconds. Right now, you're both playing for each other. You're not even. You don't have to even communicate. Right now, you have to fully focus on what makes sense for you to do. Because right now this guy is he needs to either push something or commit to the plan. That's just not gonna work because this guy is so close that he needs to push. This guy has no other way of winning the round. And whether he dies or not, like he played it pretty well in the decision to go back. And here the thing you wanna do is just be a pain in the ass for this guy. Basically let him know that you're there. He already knows, like you can jiggle, pre-fire, whatever, but just not die. Like if you hear him pushing up, you're just scuttle even deeper. If he goes back, you go after him, and that's how you win this round every time. Because the only thing you don't want him to do is plant the bomb, because he has 14 seconds. You don't want to die, and you don't want him to plant the bomb. So basically you never get into a 1v1 right now. Like even if this guy dies here,
Right.
I would still say you just want to be annoying fuck and don't let him in a fair 1v1.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you mad? Annoyed, slightly
Am
annoyed.
I? No, like neither. Like I'm just like it's annoying that I made that mistake, but like I've learned from it now. I'm not mad. I'm annoyed that I didn't realize that in the game, I guess.
No, making mistakes, losing is part of winning. What they say.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I mean, okay. You know, the initial thing when I saw this smoke, I instantly thought that it would be awesome to get into this corner probably, because if you crash behind the smoke, it would be pretty cool. You you know, it's of course you didn't plan to smoke it like that way, but
No.
are you aware of a persona called Bob Ross?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was saying something like happy mistakes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so try to do something with that smoke. It's weird, it's funky. You can try to do something with it. If you plan to fight with it anyway, you know, then why not go for something a little bit more crazy or a little bit more ambitious? Like here,
Yeah, that makes sense.
you have perfect now way to go here. Actually, I don't know if it works or not, and I think it would be pretty cool to try at least.
Yeah, to at least try.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Because remember about the impact, because I don't really dislike the idea of fighting from con, you know. I think cities should play proactive, and in generally people should play a little bit more aggressively, because right now the meta does reward playing pretty ballsy. So I like it. I would like you to encourage to try something out of the box if you're trying to go for something aggressive, you know. If you try to, because they seen this peak 1,000 times already, and you saw this peak
Yeah.
from T's perspective already 1,000 times as well. You know, why not try something more creative, like, I don't know, smoking in deep, for example. If you have the opportunity to do so, like smoking deep, so you can only have this angle to worry about, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought about right now, you know, or insta dropping here and just sitting here, not pushing even. Also, it's also an idea. Or
Okay.
really anything, really anything. And you still have a flash, you know. If you wanna fight it, this duel is always gonna be pretty difficult for you, no matter what you try, because you have just worse weapon. And they can swing you like they did right now. So you ideally, if even like if you want to kill somebody here, usually we would like to have either AK or AVP. Sorry. And in any other case, you wish for them to get a bit close and personal, so then you can pick them with a flash ideally and try to kill him there.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Alright, okay, that was very risky. I mean, until the point, like, you get mollied there, you just need to fall back, honestly, because you're sold. I know you don't have the greatest game, so you're probably trying to forcing a little bit yourself to have some impact, but you have to be really patient with this kind of type of stuff, you know. Like, even if there was no guy on mid, like, let's ignore that part for now. Then they all hear you're burning in window, alright? They're all looking window. So you cannot really go for that. Actually, he killed you from here in a way.
That makes sense.
No, so you need to be like, you like the attempt, okay, we tried, it didn't work, we got mollied, okay, we need to give it up, you know. And then you leaving mid open, it's kind of the other thing. But he got nice timing, I think, anyway. Oh, you need to rotate to B twin. Should be already in tempo. Okay, nice. Okay, do you understand what I said? Why I said you need to rotate?
So, yeah, it's so did that B player die? Is that what happened? Just I need to rotate. Okay.
Because what we talked about just a couple of rounds ago, mid, they cannot plan on mid. They can plan on B, right? So, zoop.
Okay,
Basically.
that's really important to remember. Yeah.
Especially if you are playing AVP. If you are playing AVP in mid, you are automatically promoted to rotation player. Because of, I I don't know, the AVP is stronger on rotation, I suppose.
So would that be the same if I had a rifle as well? Just rotate as fast?
Yeah, of course. But it's just if you both play mid and you have both, then probably you should be the one rotating. It's not like it doesn't really matter, okay, you know what, it doesn't really matter who of you rotates, but one of you need to rotate and the second guy plays a little bit safer towards the camera or tempo. Ideally camera though. Okay, what happened? Also, do you see the whole map when you play?
I do, yes, yeah, I do. I do, yeah.
If someone dies, you need to pay attention to the minimap, where he died, what you're supposed to do. Like for example, here you just wanna go towards camera because you're playing too deep in mid. If you die, it's GG for the A guy. So you just should have played camera. Had to be. I mean, at this point it doesn't matter. You just have to gamble one bomb side. Okay, this rotation you rather do on shift though, because in the water they can hear you. By the way.
Right, okay, so I need to shift in tempo. Okay.
Here, they can hear you rotating. And if those guys had a little bit of brain, they say, oh shit, mid player rotated to B, let's go A, lol. You know? And they will never come your bomb site. Anubis is kinda annoying on that part because the rotations are pretty close together, you know, like from mid you can be very fast towards B or towards A, but on both rotations they can hear you from like shit ton of angles. Same goes for bomb sites. Like A player needs to be really careful in that area of making any sounds because this guy can hear everything. Same on B, this guy here can hear pretty much everything that's going on in bomb site as well. And in water as well. If someone is water or mid, they can hear basically anything that's going on there.
Right, yeah.
So you need to be very careful not to get them too much info. I see you shake sometimes when you click the mouse, but it's just the mouse pad, you know. I mean the glass. It's honestly I don't have that much experience with glass. Like glass is technically speaking, alright. So technically, glass is higher skill ceiling. Okay. You can get way better on glass than on any other mousepad, technically speaking, but it's on default it's just harder to control. That's why most players don't play with glass because it's just not worth it. But you can absolutely. It's just you have to pull a lot of effort into the precise control of your mouse. Like the tension management has to be pristine for it to not shake. And it's really hard. Especially for like tech shooters and stuff, because like the smooth motions left and right are way easier and like way more precise. Like the tracking scenarios are way easier on glass mousepad. So it's very much more. It's more often used in like games like Overwatch, for example, or Marvel Rivals, where there's a lot of tracking going on. But on tech shooters, rarely anybody plays with it because also on glass you have less stopping power, right? If you whack your mouse one way, it's hard to stop it without shaking it, you know, because you apply tension here to start the movement, and to end it you also apply the tension. And the tension management is basically this, that you're initiating the flick, but you have to put enough force to make it fast, but enough for like small amount enough that it can stop on its own without you applying additional tension. And this is like technically the proper way of flicking, but it's fucking hard. It's ridiculously hard. So on like on like control mousepads, for example, you can get away with applying tension here and tension here to stop. because
Mm.
the stop it is way easier. You know, it stops on its own kind of already. If that makes sense. Wait, I don't wanna you discourage you from using glass. I just think you should know it.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't realize that. No, that's good.
You know what? There's one very good video on tension management. All right. It's like one of the best pro gamers. I mean, pro aimers. Period in the world right
Okay.
now.
Mhm.
And she has a 20 minutes video on tension management and tension guide stuff. It's very detailed. If you wanna stick to glass, I would encourage you to watch it. I'm not nearly enough experience in that technical stuff to explain it to you, so I'd encourage you to watch this.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely watch it. Thank you.
Okay. You tend to position yourself in lurk positions, which is not bad, just an observation.
I just try to put myself where my team isn't so we can maintain map control. I don't want to lurk, it's just I find that if I go with a team, then we have no one ever on the other side of the map. Everyone they'll just group up as a 5. So I always try to put myself in a spot to get map control, which is usually ends up being alone because everyone else groups up and goes as a 4 somewhere.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Okay, one thing I have to say to you though. I need you to really understand it, so tell me if you need to have different explanation or something. But generally speaking, like if it was a team environment and you were the primary lurker of the team or primary anchor and lurker, whatever, you would really probably feel comfortable because lurk, well, he's lurking pretty often. But in environments like Faceit, you kind of have to be able to do everything. And the issue with somebody with your playstyle is that if your teammates are just losing on entry, like consistently, you're just gonna lose the game, and there's not much you can do about it. Like you're on the I don't know the translation word, but you're dependent on your teammates basically how well they do. If they do well, then you have enough space to so you also can do well. And what I'm trying to say is that if you don't try to fight impact throughout your game, like this one round, you put that 2 deagles run, you know, in mid, very nice shots.
Yeah.
You basically won that round already here, you know, and that was the only time you actually tried to do something that aggressive. Like here, I mean aggressive early rounds, because this is another thing. I'm going a bit off topic, but the reason why a lot of players like Dog, m0NESY, whatever, if you watch them play Mirage, for example, they rarely sit in their position. Like if they play Mirage, they always try to jump under, jump con, jump short, whatever, because the thing about early aggression is that if you do it enough of the times, you actually you'll be able to react to anything, because there's in early round there's limited amount of things that can happen. For example, if you pick B main, there's limited amount of stuff that can happen, right? Nobody can be here, right? If you pick instantly, for example, right? Or it doesn't make sense for someone to be here early round. They usually don't do this. They're still like walking up there or holding here, for example, right? And because of it, it's also more predictable, because you can ignore like this, you can ignore this, and if you do it like third tempo or whatever, then now every of these angles are a danger and you need to check them. Hence, aggression early round is usually a little bit easier than late round. It's not that it's bad, but it's just better, easier. And if you're not trying to have any impact on your own, like you don't have any solo plays you can do, or if in that case if you're playing duo, it's even better, because you can have 2 players, like one can set up the other one with the util, for example. it's just gonna be hard because at the end of the day you need to kill the enemy teams, right? And if you can isolate the duels, it's always gonna be easier. And isolating duels is easier. It's early and yeah, full circle.
So, to make sure I fully understand it, just to say it back to you, you're saying basically that I can't only lurk in pugs. I've got to try and be. Sometimes you just got to give up the map control and take early aggression. Like I can't. Like I'm trying to focus on getting that full map control in our pug, and just to let our teammates do whatever they want. You're saying don't do that. I need to be able to do everything. I need practice doing other things as well.
Yeah.
Because
like
yeah.
For example, why not, like, you have spawn B, you know, why not dry swing? Like for example, the thing you can do is like molly here early, so they cannot swing you from without with a flash, for example, right? Early round, and you can just really literally dry swing across here and try to kill the guy. If you win that gunfight, you can go for another one because you know it's a 1v1 most likely. You kill and you basically, if the guy, because the thing with early aggression in a bit lower elo is that people also tend to be pretty scared. Okay, like they don't tend to be position themselves early, and they don't know how to respond to that early aggression. So very often you might catch somebody off guard, right? Kill him, and now it's one guy on site. Even if you don't commit to going further, like this already creates a gap. Like we talk about, you kill one city somewhere, bro, you did awesome job. Like you have already like 10% round swing, you know, like it does a lot. And what's so nice about playing something like this aggressive is, I'm giving an example, it doesn't have to be, of course, is that once you did this, now they're gonna be scared, they're gonna be careful about this early aggression. Even if you die, you create this that they need to be aware of it. They cannot just completely ignore it and not smoke it early, for example, and it makes them use the smoke early. And if they use their smoke early, it's now easier to pop B with like flashes through the smoke, you know, in very early of the round, because they're using the smoke too early. Or for example, if you try to like throw a lurk smoke, now this lurk smoke has way more power of taking their attention if you did something with it earlier, you know. Or you can do it reversed. If you throw a lurk smoke, for example, and don't do anything with it for 2 rounds, and on the 3rd round you try to lurk out from it, you might catch somebody off guard because they saw this already 2 rounds in a row, nothing happened, so probably there's not gonna anything happen as well, you know. And now this round you're walking out and you might catch someone off guard. Does that make sense? Because I'm trying to give you an ideas of what it means to try to search for an impact, you know, what the ways you can do that.
Yeah, I think so. So it sounds like you're saying that basically what I'm doing right now is not having any impact. So then you're like, I need to do more things early to try and win the round earlier. Even if that means dying, I need to put more time on early successes.
Okay, let me give you an example. I'm not a pro player myself, but I
Yeah.
think I have a pretty nice demo that showcase what I mean.
Okay.
All right. There should be around somewhere. This. Yeah, this as well. But oh yeah, I meant this. Okay, I'm just going towards ramp right now. I love go towards A ramp because sometimes they do miss the molly and it's very easy to abuse. And this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just walking there. I see this nice juicy ass gap, so I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna wing it because there's a good chance he's not ready for it. So I'm just winging it, and I catch him throwing a smoke, and I already basically won the round here and there if I don't throw it.
Yeah.
Which I think we don't, but it's gonna be close. But this already has insane impact. No, you don't have to have insane mechanics or whatever, just the crosshair placement and an idea that they did a mistake, so you want to abuse it, you know. And the hesitation is kind of killing it. If you like, if you are not willing to take that risk, that yes, of course there might be an AVP and I might just die stupid death, you know. But if you're not willing to take that risk, it's hard to have impacts in the games. Here, and this round is basically over right now because this guy is just entered behind me because he saw I'm entering and he just went behind me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So okay, so is something that I can take into my next games.
Of course.
What I should be doing is every T side, I should be trying to do something aggressive and proactive early in the round to have high impact. That's like a
Okay, so yes, but you don't have to do it every round. Okay, just to be clear, like if they called something,
Okay.
you don't want to be that ego top guy that's saying, "Nah, bro, I'm swinging, be dry," you know, and then you die. It's about finding that middle ground that you can do everything. Because if you do it like once, because you have a spawn, for example, like
Mhm.
it's hard to explain this already, but if you never try it, you do you even know if it works or not? Like you don't play like this, right? You never go for something like this. So
Yeah.
how do you know if it works or not? Maybe maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. No, if it works, then very nice. Of course, it looks a little bit stupid, if you try that and it didn't work. But if you try that and it didn't work, it also gives the information for you. Okay, analyze it. Why it didn't work? This guy was ready for it completely. Like he was sitting here, for example. I did my lurk smoke and he was sitting there. Okay, so why not do something about the next time? So why not, for example, smoke this and ask my teammate to double nade it, for example, or why not molly this, or why not try to actually walk up this way? If he's always sitting here when you lurk smoke, why not go this way out and try to kill the con guy? Remember, those are always like you're playing against people. They
So-
have their own minds. They will try to adapt to the stuff that's happening.
Yeah. So I should try and do this on both T side and CT side, like be more aggressive, be more look for those like early
Yeah.
fragging players. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you
How
should. Yeah.
okay? How often should I like give me like say 50% of rounds, like half the rounds, half the gun
30%,
rounds,
something like 30% of
30%.
the rounds.
Okay. All right.
Because 30% is something like, if it works, you have insane impact. Like if it works even half of the time, you know, it has very good impact. And if it doesn't work a single time, it's not that big of a deal. Like it
And that's
feels.
both sides, T and CT.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, you know, if stuff is working, you don't have to force yourself to make insane plays, you know. But if it's not working, like it's too close, like you're not really dominating, or players are scared to do their own stuff, then it's probably a good idea to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, remember, like, you're still not playing in like 4K elo lobbies, you know. You're not playing against pro players. Of course, they have a little bit more experience, like they have level 10s and whatnot, but it's still not considered high elo, right? Like 10% of the player base has level 10 in this game. So
Right. Okay.
it's not like they're insane. So don't give them too much respect. Like I don't know a little bit how to phrase it, but to me it seems like you're playing with too much respect for your opponents. Like for example, here you're not really doing a mistake, but being so aware about those angles. Like I cannot consider this a mistake as a coach, but you are too far away from that guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like I would like you to pay like slightly less attention to those angles. Of course, they look their way. Maybe you're not gonna be in like a perfect spot to take the engagement, but so you're a little bit closer to him. You know, the fundamentals of just being close together when entering, so we can trade each other, right? Yeah, I want to mention it again, but just to make sure you understand, like you throughout the whole game, like there were some stuff, like in the beginning as well, like we talked about this rope thingy and whatnot, and and it's all important, right, to improve your decision making, but you're not making that many mistakes. You know, your gameplay is pretty good. You're not making that many mistakes. But I also am not seeing any risks. You know, like there were maybe 2 rounds when you actually took some risk. And
Okay.
tell me if you ever experienced playing against some guy that is just completely brain dead, for the lack of better word. Like he's completely, you know, and he's just swinging
Yeah.
everything dry, and you cannot, for the love of God, kill him. Like he's so annoying to play against. Have you ever
Yeah, I've played
experienced
against
it?
people like that. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the other end of the spectrum, that someone is playing only aggressively, but you notice on yourself how difficult it is to play against someone like this. And if they get 5 players like this, it's basically GG instantly, because it's just it's suffocating to play. You don't have time to set up anything. You don't have time for anything because they just insta out. So you have to find a middle ground between this, because of course, like I said, it's the other end of the spectrum. So there are games in which he probably is pulling crazy low numbers because nothing is working for him. But if it works for him, he's like the best player ever. It feels like it, because every time it works for him, he's instantly having impact.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, 2 mid players died. We're splitting A instantly because A is weak. We go A. We go A. We go A. Okay, you're overdoing this checking behind. Oh shit. Alright. Yeah, good decision to walk up there. You want to walk up there because you have no space to play for yourself. Like your teammate cannot probably, like there's no way for him to hold everything for you. So,
Yeah.
and you have no space to play. It's too obvious that your side should take that risk. Very nice. As for this behind, yes, of course, you wanna be aware of the possibilities of someone walking through that smoke. I agree. But also he cannot teleport from here to here without you hearing something. You know? He cannot teleport,
Yeah,
so
okay.
nothing is stopping you for you to enter. Start fighting. This guy should die pretty quickly. Like 3 people are running at him. He should die pretty quickly. You kill, and you instantly molly behind, so you can plant the bomb. Then in that way you keep the track of the loot possibility without really allocating yourself fully to watching behind. You understand
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
The rest is pretty cool. Pretty good. Yo, if you stick to the end, please leave a like, leave a sub. And if you want to have that similar coaching session to the one you just watched, the link is in the description. Don't ask why I'm so white, please.